It's time for wine, African wine. Africa 54's Ndemiake Mwakaliele introduces us to one of the top wine producers on the continent. Ndemi.
Thank you, Vincent. Well, with its wine industry booming, Morocco is looking to expand its exports to new markets here in the United States, Japan, and China. The wine industry is flourishing in Morocco, the largest producer of wine in the Arab world. Today, more than 37,000 acres of land are devoted to wine production.
This industry is now well developed in this area, and our production is on par with some regions in Europe. We import some kind of grapes from abroad, the ones which are suitable for this area and can provide good yields and good quality for wine production. Most of the country's vineyards are in the Mekne region, some 140 kilometers east of the capital, Rabat. It was here that the Phoenicians and Romans first planted their ancient vines. But the heyday for Moroccan wine was during the French colonial era, when several modern grape varieties were introduced to satisfy the demand of the country's French residents. Today, one of the country's most famous vineyards is Les Celliers de Menknes, which produces almost 70% of Moroccan wine. The company has introduced varieties such as Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Syrah, and Chardonnay, and says it uses the latest technology.
We
have a very special piece of land, an area that is very specific. For us, the technology can also be used to explore the land and its specific qualities. Our concern is to be able to make the most of our vineyards because we have a great potential to produce wines that can satisfy different tastes, different countries, and different cultures, while at the same time respecting our own culture.
At the end of the 19th century, many of Europe's vineyards were damaged by the phylloxera pest. But when French vine growers arrived in Morocco, they discovered a unique soil diversity and a temperate climate, ideal conditions for growing grapes. Morocco now sells more than 40 million bottles per year, both at home and abroad, primarily to the many expatriates who live in the North African country. The industry wants to expand and could soon join Chile, California, and South Africa as a major 21st century wine producer.
Consumers in the United States are very attracted to our wines. Today, markets such as China and Japan, as well as the traditional markets, which are France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, are becoming more and more interested. I believe that we also have a huge potential to satisfy any future demands.
Roughly 10,000 Moroccans have permanent jobs in the wine industry, while a large number of seasonal workers are recruited during the grape harvesting season. Although alcohol is readily available in the country, most Moroccans don't consume it, in line with Muslim religious law. And joining us now via Skype from Los Angeles, California, is Didier Pariente, owner of Nomadic Productions, which distributes wines, including those from Les Celliers de Menknes. So we thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Pariente.
Thank you.
So I was among many, I'm sure, who were very surprised to know that Morocco, which is a Muslim country, is one of the biggest players in the wine industry around the world, including in Morocco. Is this an exception, or that's something you're familiar with?
It is an exception being a Muslim country, Morocco being the first producer and the biggest producer in the Muslim world. The fact that Morocco is able to respect its culture and at the same time making quality wine and consuming it in Morocco and exporting it as well.
Now, you told me something interesting just before we got on the air about a recognition from Forbes.
Yes. We're just featured on Forbes magazine as some of the best wine under $20, which is a great achievement for us because it just shows the quality that has Moroccan wine and the market, the American market, being eager to discover these wines.
40 million, I guess, bottles of wine. That's a lot per year. How is it selling here in the U.S.?
It's selling pretty well. It's still a starting market, or a really starting market for us. The Moroccan wine's really been available for maybe about 10 years, but really available to the mass market for the past 3 years. So in that matter, the market is still discovering these wines. It is still a novelty product that we are trying to introduce more as a quality product to the mainstream market in the U.S.
Now, how does it fare compared to, say, South African wines in Africa also, and South America, Chile?
Well, they more have an approach of what we call an old world style wine, because of the French influence, but as well because of the unicity of the soil in Morocco. So they will be very reminding of French style wines, and the winemakers being as well French for most of them, since we're in a Muslim country, you will feel this French influence in the wines as well.
Now, which other countries do you sell for, or do you distribute wines for?
I am especially importing the wines for the U.S. market.
I'm sorry, I missed your answer, but obviously there's a lot of international interest in, at least from Africa, selling into the U.S. market.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, this is just a product those products are just really interesting for the American market. They are eager to discover those wines and understand and discover as well cultures that they are not really able to see on a daily basis. So introducing wine is really the best way to basically make people getting together.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being able to give us some insight into how Moroccan wines are selling here in the United States. And that's Didier Pariente, the owner of Nomadic Productions, an export-import distribution company which distributes for Les Celliers de Meknes, the Moroccan wine we were talking about. And he joined us by Skype from Los Angeles.